Welcome to the road to $1 million US, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame, because we are about to head into a new week of trading, and therefore I'm going to cover the immediate short term first, after which we're going to take a look at some higher time frames for Bitcoin. Starting off with this bullish divergence, which is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. Now, in the case that you don't know, typically this points towards us getting a break from all of this bearish price action we saw here recently, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum. Now, over the weekend, we basically just saw some choppy sideways price action. And now that we are heading into a new week of trading, I am expecting volatility to return to the market. And so far, we are seeing a little bit of that bullish momentum here. In the short term, the key areas of resistance to pay attention to are, first of all, this descending line of resistance sitting at 111K in the Bitcoin price, as well as this horizontal line of resistance sitting at 111.6K. In the case we break through that, though, the next area of resistance above is already at 113,000. The reason I'm talking about levels of resistance being broken up here is because in this RSI momentum indicator, we have already broken the downtrend, as you can see right here. So this could be an early bullish confirmation signal, especially in combination with this bullish divergence. So we are seeing some bullish reversal signals starting to actually confirm now, just like I talked about yesterday when I said these reversal signals were flashing. Once again, right now they are starting to confirm. The last thing we're really looking for here is that we are actually seeing a break of this downtrend. So what we want to see is candle closes above this descending line of resistance. We also want to see a possible retest of that descending trend line to flip it into a level of support. This isn't a necessary step, but besides that, while breaking this descending trend line, we also want to see increasing amounts of volume down at the bottom here. So those are all things that I will be looking out for here early on Monday. Now let's take a look at the broader context for Bitcoin, especially on this one-day time frame, because recently we have been talking about the market structure on this one-day time frame. And notice how right here we have a lower high confirmed in the Bitcoin price, although a lower high by itself is not enough to actually confirm a downtrend. What you want to see is a lower high and a lower low as well. And so far we have not confirmed this lower low below these previous lows at around 108K, 107K in the Bitcoin price. In fact, if we end up reversing right now, and for example, this 108.8K level was the bottom here, then we are not talking about a downtrend any longer, unless we do something like this, where we do end up getting the candle closes below this previous low and another lower high coming in, right? So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. If this is all very confusing to you guys, please go ahead and check out my free trading course, because these are very simple things that I all explain completely for free on rt1m.com, which is my website. And here I just have a full-on trading course that you can watch completely for free, where I just explain market structure, indicators, the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, a bunch of other stuff. Just go ahead and check it out on rt1m.com if you want to learn the basics of technical analysis. So now that we have covered all of that, let's move on to the resistance here on this one-day time frame, because we are running into some resistance around this 110 all the way up to 112K level. Besides that, on this 3-day time frame, we are also still holding above this ascending trend line. So that is, for now, a good thing to see, especially that we closed this candle above this ascending trend line here. This is a good sign once again. So just like I said yesterday as well, guys, there are some bullish signals starting to show up, where previously there were no bullish signals whatsoever. So this is why you are starting to hear me talk about a possible reversal coming now. And before I continue with the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, let me quickly talk about invalidation of this entire idea, because this is very important in technical analysis. We always need a point of invalidation for our base case. So let's say that we end up getting a rejection from this critical area of resistance, and we end up just breaking down below, creating new lows in the Bitcoin price once again, so below that 107K level. That is a clear and hard invalidation of anything bullish that I talked about in this video, because even just breaking down below here would invalidate this bullish divergence as well. Most of the bullish signals are out of the window as soon as we break below 108.5K, but especially if we break below 107K with candle closes. It's just a matter of which time frame you're looking at. Like for example, short term 108.5K is more than enough, but on the higher time frames it would need to be below 107K with candle closes, like I said. Now another invalidation of this specific bullish scenario here is if we, for example, end up breaking above, but then we end up facing some kind of resistance along the way here and end up crashing down below this trend line once again, breaking above a descending trend line and then crashing down below again is almost never a good sign if you are bullish in that scenario. So this is another warning signal and invalidation of most of the bullish setups that I talked about here in this video. Of course, nothing I say in my videos is financial advice, guys, but I'm simply sharing my analysis and you can do with that information what you like. Now let's move on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map on this 48-hour. For now, we have taken out a lot of upside liquidity here in the short term, around 110.4K. There is still liquidity at 110.7K and even 111.5K. However, we do also have downside liquidity in the short term at around 108.2. Now, I'm just sharing that so you are aware of where the big pockets of liquidity are right now in the short term. But if I zoom out to this 2-week time frame, now things are getting a bit more clear. Right now, there is massive liquidity to the upside at 111, which most has already been taken out, but also 114, 117, and even 119K in the Bitcoin price. You may notice as well that there was this big pocket of liquidity to the downside. You can see this even better on the 1-year time frame, because around that 107K level, guys, just below these previous lows, here we have massive liquidity once again. So this is good to be aware of, and that is also the reason why I've been a bit cautious with calling for a full-on reversal, like easy bottom being called here, is because we still have that massive liquidity just below where we ended up reaching here. Either way, if we end up breaking the downtrend, guys, I can no longer be this 107K level until I see a clear reason, like a clear hard rejection or something from a level of resistance. Only then can I be talking about that liquidity down there once again. Until then, if we just end up breaking this descending trend line here, I will have to assume a more bullish posture here in the short term. So either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.